Hello, and welcome to the First Issue Club podcast. We're the show where, just like Sue Storm, we love a good read.
You brought it back. Last week you didn't do it. This week you brought it back.
It was feeling good today. I had to. We're the show that's going to onboard you into new fun stories. We're going to keep you apprised of all the good goings-on of the nerd industry called comics.
Hopefully the good goings on. Sometimes there's some bad goings on we have to cover.
This is true. We'll balance the positive and the negative. That
Yin
as
and yang.
shepherds of comic book news, it is our duty to even the scales.
Right. Just like Reed Richards and Dr. Doom. You know, they complement one another. They keep each other in check.
He's not as punchy as the Sue Storm thing.
I wasn't trying to make a tagline. I was just trying to make a comparison.
Kind of seemed
Guys,
like you were trying to.
Thanos was right there, perfectly balanced, as all things should be.
Okay, well, next time we do this, I'll be sure to make the Thanos reference. Where were you 2 minutes ago?
Sorry.
Who's going to be on the club today? Well, it's me, Mike D.
Me, Greg.
Me, Vargas.
And a special guest from Boulevard Brewing Company to help us promote the Planet Comic-Con and Boulevard First Issue Club Collaboration Nation Celebration. Adam Hall. Adam!
Wow, what an intro. I was not expecting.
First of
That
all,
was insane.
welcome back to the show.
Yeah, thanks. I'm happy to be
You
here.
returning guest.
Yeah.
Officially in friend territory.
Oh, I've moved up to friend.
Friend of the show territory.
Yeah.
We've been friends for a long
Sure,
time, but
yeah.
now you're a friend of the show.
Friend of the
Now
show.
you're friends with benefits.
Which comes with perks and benefits. We got stickers and buttons waiting for you after the show. Welcome.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
We are happy to have you back on. We teased it last episode how we teamed up with Boulevard and Planet Comic-Con to give away some one-day passes to the con coming up.
Thank you for that.
Coming up next week.
Yeah.
You brought some tasty treats along with
did.
you.
Yeah.
Why don't you tell us what you got?
So I brought you guys some. I feel like every time that I'm in the room with you guys, we're talking about Space Camper, but I feel like there's like such a strong connection with Boulevard and First Issue Club and Space Camper because you were there at the very beginning. You know?
We were at the inception.
You were.
We were in the room during conception, we'll say.
Oh. Okay,
We're not
sure.
supposed
Whatever
to talk
floats your
about
boat.
that part of the story. Space Camper was born at Planet Comic-Con, so we thought that it made sense to, to kind of come back and like promote it pretty heavily. But today what we have is two of our Space Camper, like what we call line extensions. So it's where we took basically the base beer of Space Camper and then just kind of ramped it up. So in the big can in front of you is Cybersonic Sea Hops. That's available now. That's in the market. That's a big sort of like an homage to the old school West Coast IPAs, like think like Pliny the Elder. It's big, it's West Coast, it's better, high ABV, 8% ABV. And then the other can that you have, though it might say...
It's in disguise.
Yeah, it is. That's its alter ego. The other one that I have is called Terror from the Deep, and that is the beer that if you come to Planet Comic-Con and you attend our Space Patrick's Day party Friday night, it was St. Patrick's Day was like right there.
Oh,
and
it's
we're like, well, we're gonna have this after party, and to my knowledge, it's the first time they've done like a big, like adult only after party in the convention center. So if you have a ticket to the show on Friday, then you automatically have access to the party. There's gonna be like 2 DJs. We're gonna have a 360 photo booth for you to show off your costume.
Ooh,
yeah, it's actually pretty cool. I was like on the edge about. Have you ever seen those 360 photo booths?
Totally.
It's wild.
They're cool.
Yeah, like how do you not feel like you're in the Matrix every time, right?
I think my data just got stolen.
And we're gonna have music and we're gonna have beer and stuff like that, but we're also gonna tease this Terror from the Deep, which is in that mystery can that's in front of you, and that's like a juicy sort of New England IPA. So really fruit forward, lots of tropical fruit. It's really hazy. You kind of sink your teeth into it. So you are the first non-Boulevardians to try this beer, so
Yeah,
we felt like we had to hold on to it.
It is. I don't know if we can officially say how it tastes and what we feel about it, but I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, then now, yeah, you can. I was wondering where that was going to go, but yeah.
This is fucking tasty.
Yeah.
So,
What I've loved about basically the entire Space Camper line is how delicious they are. Like it tastes good, but you can tell you're drinking a beer. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
There's a lot of like IPAs that are just hoppy for hop's sake.
Sure.
You know?
Yeah.
And that's kind of trash.
Yeah.
But This is so good.
We have some pretty talented brewers at the brewery, and they're really good at manipulating like the malts and the hops and kind of creating something that has balance, but also really has a lot of flavor and is really fun to drink.
Yeah.
And I think that's the way I feel about Space Camper. Is just fun to drink.
Yeah, well, fun because all
more,
the kick-ass graphics on there. I know this beer is meant for everyone.
Yeah.
But as a comic book lover, it has really honed into my love of this hobby so much because you have these first wave, second wave,
Yeah.
like these heroes and villains that like play out on this can. So kudos to you and your team
I remember
for really owning in on that.
I remember back in 2019 when we were launching this beer and we had just kind of struck up a a friendship, and I remember gut checking that the first like label. I was like, "Are we pandering? What do you think about this?" And you guys were like, "It's amazing."
Yeah.
So we're like, "Okay, all right, hit print, print, fill those cans."
The
Send 'em
boys
out.
approved it. Hit it.
Yeah. It's first issue approved.
You're pandering in the best way.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
And it's awesome because, like, as comic book lovers, we love a good stat
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
power levels. And on each can, you have your power levels of the beer. And it's just so much fun. You guys must have a great time just, like, thinking up all this stuff and, like...
You crack a 6-pack of Space Camper, get in a conference room, with a whiteboard and you just, like, write down all the weird shit that you can.
What is the percentage of, in Boulevard right now, nerds and beer lovers?
Oh, it's like if it was a Venn diagram, it would be a solid
just a
circle.
full
It would be a full circle. Yeah. At any given time. So like, like where I work, my desk, I've got like this really cool Galactus print with Silver Surfer, and I've got this and it's like littered with like stuff that I've picked up at the convention, whatever. But then the person that I share like my area with, when you turn the corner, hers is all like Star Wars'd out. Like she's Star Wars and Marvel. She and her husband went as Vision and the Scarlet Witch for Halloween. I mean, like, and then just everybody we work with are all super nerds, or like I would say deep in nerd culture somehow.
Yeah.
We have a really young designer. She just started not too long ago, and this will be her first convention. And so we've been trying to, I'm excited about this, like the con etiquette, right? I'm excited because we've been trying to tell her what it's like. And she is really excited to see Elvira, which I think is weird. And then also Richard Dreyfuss. So she's picked the two most, senior celebrities at the convention. And she is like over the moon about like meeting both of them.
I have my Richard Dreyfuss action figure. I would like him to sign.
Yeah. Yep. Will you sign my Richard Dreyfuss Funko Pop? Yeah.
And then I want him to put my glasses in his mouth. Do you guys remember that scene from Jaws?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The most disgusting thing, just takes the sheriff's glasses and puts them right in his mouth.
Yep.
Weirdo. Well, that was a great segue into con etiquette because Planet Comic Con is right around the corner.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of questions about how do I behave at a con?
How to be.
What do I bring to a con?
Good question.
It's a great question. Thank you. Yeah. And we have some suggestions for you to make sure that your time at any con, not just Planet Comic Con, which is going to be a great con, but any con is a good experience for you and whoever you bring. First of all, I just want to say, right out the gate, hydrate. You got to stay hydrated. And bring, you guys are going to laugh at me, bring foot insoles for your shoes.
Yeah.
I was just going to say comfy shoes. Yeah.
You don't think you're going to be walking around a lot. And then when you're done with the con, whether it be one day or the whole weekend, you're going to look at your iPhone or whatever thing you have to track your steps, and you'll be walking 15 miles easy up and down those aisles. So, and you got to protect your knees, folks. We're getting
Loosen
older.
up, do your stretches.
Yeah. Your calisthenics really get limber.
I'm going to say the opposite of your hydrating one, and that's take a shot of something before you hit the convention floor. Visit our friends at the Boulevard booth.
Loosen
at
up.
Planet Comic Con to loosen up. I myself get a little claustrophobic when I'm around so many people. And it's one of those things, too, where if you haven't been to an event or a convention in a while, it is overwhelming the amount of people and how large the space is.
Oh, yeah.
So my mood and mode is slam one, keep it rolling. Nice, light, happy buzz.
Yeah.
Don't get too drunk to where you're buying, a $500 piece of art
Yeah. Okay. Well,
and regretting it later, right? But stay tipsy enough that you're gonna be
You don't want to get so drunk you call Elvira Richard Dreyfuss.
Well, and exactly right. When you go meet your heroes, you don't want to be too nervous, too clammy.
Right.
Loosen up.
Yeah.
Do you think this year is going to be different now that it's now recreational?
Oh, the marijuana.
Yeah.
No, because I think it was it was already done
Well, that's true. Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it'd be maybe more mellow, maybe more chill, maybe not as many Deadpools dancing around, getting in my business.
I think the people that would be the people that would participate in those activities
We're already doing it. That's true. Yeah.
And everybody else is saving their money to spend at the con.
right.
Yeah. Because Elvira's signature is expensive.
Yeah, it is not cheap.
It's crazy that if you are someone, like, let's say, like, you want to partake in the gummy situation for your con experience, and you choose a Planet Comic-Con to do it for your first time.
Wow.
What an overload that would be.
No kidding.
It is sensory overload
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
So maybe if it's gonna be your first time dabbling in the extracurriculars, wait till after the con. When you're somewhere safe, just chilling.
Or maybe at the Boulevard party.
Yeah. Friday night.
Oh, yeah, Friday night.
The Space Patrick's party. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll be there.
Yeah.
I'll be just drinking beer though.
Hmm.
So don't try to get weird with me,
Sure.
nerdos.
Don't try to give Greg any free gummies.
Yeah. So I know your tricks. You say it's a vitamin gummy. I don't think so. Throw it right in your face.
My big tip for any con is to respect people's space and time.
Oh, yeah.
Right? I think a lot of comics pros or celebrities, whoever, they probably don't want to shake your hand after COVID. Like, a lot of people were weird about that beforehand.
Yeah.
Just give them a fist bump or, a wave, a hello, whatever. And don't stand there and tell them about your 3-part sci-fi epic.
Yes,
Because
please.
they don't care.
Preach.
They're irritated by it, and all the people behind you in line are irritated by it, and they don't want to be the jerk that's like, okay, leave now.
Right.
You need to be the person that has enough wherewithal
Yeah.
to get out of there.
Yeah.
Thankfully, those big name celebrities typically have a handler.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. That just
Sitting
kind of
next to
shepherds
them,
people through.
They're just like, you know what? Your time's up. We have more people. And then that way, Richard Dreyfuss can be like, "Meh, sorry." Like,
Yeah, right. I'm not in charge here.
They're telling you to move.
Oh,
Sorry,
man,
big-
I'd love to keep talking to you about your project.
Yeah.
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 Here's your glasses back.
Yeah. Here's your script back.
Put them in your own mouth.
Yeah, put them in your own mouth, weirdo. This actually happened to Mike D and I when James Tinian was here 5 years ago.
Yeah.
We wanted to just sneak in and get a quick signature, and there was someone there talking his ear
We
off.
thought, great, no line. This was before James Tinian was like,
The James Tinian,
like the biggest writer in comics right now. But yeah, one guy, we were like, we'll get in and out of here in no time. And we stood there for about 10 minutes, I want to say, and just listened to this guy
ramble. About was he even like
was-
writing a book, or
it
was he
was-
just talking about the history of a character that he
It was
liked?
DC Batman minutia.
Hell yes.
You know how like when you're because Tinian had just started writing Batman with Tom King at the time.
Okay.
Remember, he was like the backup writer.
Yeah.
And it was almost like this guy was showing off his
Knowledge.
Batman cred and like challenging James, and he was just like, very cool, man. And then he kept looking at us like, I'm so sorry.
Right.
And then going back to this guy just like, yeah, like trying to give him like the social cues that the guy was just blind to.
Pulls out a tape recorder and like plays the playoff music. Like,
Some giant cane comes
Yeah.
out of nowhere and just escorts him off.
So to your point, you have to assume that everybody that's in line has the same level of knowledge that you do.
Yeah.
That there's no reason to kind of show off or like to drag it out.
Yeah.
Right.
Or-
You're just like, man, it's nice to meet you. I'm a big fan. It's amazing work.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to what you're doing.
Yep.
Shake a hand, fist bump.
Yeah.
Fist bump.
Fist
you know,
bump, fist
and then-
bump. You would think, but like, so Richard Dreyfuss has never been to Kansas City.
sure.
Well, that's not to con, but
Not
yeah.
to. He's been other times.
Yeah, he's been to Kansas City before.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, he hasn't been to Planet Comic-Con.
Right.
So there's going to be somebody who's just gonna be like, oh, this is my shot to meet Richard Dreyfuss and tell him something cool. And like, this person's probably working themselves up for the whole week. It's just like, I'm going to tell them this great story. And meanwhile, we're on back just like, you got to keep it going. This is a well-oiled machine, sir.
You can tell him something cool as long as it's like, hey Richard, my mom was an extra in Jaws.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah.
Like that's what you
Yeah.
get,
Yep.
and then you're out.
Has a pitch ever been made to the studio for a prequel to Jaws?
Jaw.
Jaw. Just like where the shark grew up. Why is he like this?
Sure.
Just follow him before he became the
Like his origin story that's like the Joker of
exactly.
Jaws.
Well,
They
Like-
kind of did that in Jaws 4, The Revenge, where the shark kind of had psychic powers because it killed.
a psychic?
It was no. It was like the mate of the original Jaws shark.
It ate the machine from Big.
Yeah, that was it.
Yeah.
It ate
And the shark was like, I wish I had powers.
You ever seen a movie where a shark literally jumps the shark? And that's what it was.
That's Jaws 4, baby.
Jaws the Revenge.
My kind of experience of that was like 5-6 years ago. Will Wheaton was here,
yeah.
and we had already reached out. The brewery had reached out to him because he's like big in the beer scene, and he's a noted Tank 7 fan. So we're like, we're gonna take advantage of this. So we're like, we wanted to invite him to the brewery, give him a tour, and he or his his manager, whatever, was communicating with us, and we said, we'll bring you some Tank 7, the first day of the con. So we got there early, and we're gonna go give him some beer, and it was me and Davey, and we're carrying 2 6-packs of Tank 7, and this guy cuts in front of us, and Will Wheaton is sitting down at the table, and this guy just plops down like a 4-pack of warm ass Guinness. Guinness is lovely, by the way, for all those fine Guinness folks out there. And Will Wheaton was like, "Hey, what's this?" And the guy was just like, "It's beer." And he was like, "I heard you like beer. Here's some beer." And Will Wheaton was like, he's meant to be salt of the earth. He's like knows how to like chat with people, so he's trying to coax more out of this guy. But the guy didn't have anything else to say. It was just beer. I heard you like beer.
This has been in my trunk for about 6 months.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I could find.
But then they have this really awkward conversation about beer. And then he walks away, and then Davey and I are standing there with beer like,
Oh, shit.
well, shit. Right. We're just going to do the exact same thing that dude just did.
Yeah, more tactful, maybe.
Well, yeah, probably. But it didn't make it any less awkward when we're like, we heard you like beer. And you're like, here's some beer.
At least you can be like, here's some beer we made.
Yeah,
Like,
here's some beer we made that we know you like. And that's how the conversation went.
We're
but-
supposed to be here.
Yeah.
Did you get to talk to Will Wheaton, but like anything else, or?
No. I mean, briefly, he was just setting up. We had like completely cut the line. Like we got there before the person with the line sign. We just cut in. We're like, hey, we're supposed to give you a tour later, and he was like, yeah, hopefully it works out.
Just stand around. Can you drink it real quick? I just
Yeah,
want to make
Chuck,
sure
I just
that you
want to
enjoy it.
Let me get my phone out.
Yeah.
Get pictures. It's going on social media.
Sorry, Will. Optics.
Yeah.
Say you like it. Adam, do you have any suggestions for how to enjoy a con?
I think hydration that's the biggest one. I recommend coming to see us at our booth. We're going to be
Absolutely.
giving out free beer all weekend. So to Mike's point, if you need a break from the chaos, come have a beer. I think that comfy shoes was my lesson I learned. Like, I think the first year I wore some Chucks, I was like, oh, this is a rookie move.
The most unsupportive shoe maybe in existence.
Yeah.
Just a Converse.
I'm a Chuck boy, and you can. Well, I got really wide feet.
Oh,
So
yeah.
they spread out nice inside those Chucks.
Yeah. Yeah. But walking around on a concrete floor for 8 hours.
And you got to get the insoles.
You
That's
have
the
to
key.
get the insoles.
That's
Yep.
the key.
Yeah, I did not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The only thing else I can think of is like bring some cash.
I was going to say,
Cash is king.
well, 1s and 5s I think are great.
True.
If you're doing dollar
Can you break
bins,
100 Richard Dreyfuss?
yeah, that's the thing. If you're picking up a couple dollar bin comics at a
Oh,
booth,
that's good advice.
you don't want to have someone break out like the card swiper just for that,
Or a 20.
right?
Yeah.
In addition to that, a lot of creators, if you're getting something signed or if you're buying something from a creator, a lot of them sign stuff for free.
Yep.
But they ask for a donation to a local charity or food bank or something that provides health care to independent comic book creators.
Yeah, like Here Initiative is really
Yeah.
big. There's
Exactly right. So it's nice to have a few bucks on you just to say thank you for the people signing your stuff, to drop in those little charity things. Otherwise, the creators aren't going to be taking your Venmo. You could always say, later on I'm going to donate, $50 so I
swear.
feel better about myself. But no, it's not. It's nice for the creators to see what they're doing is making a difference.
Yeah. So definitely bring some small bills to, buy things. It's easier to negotiate when you have cash and can like group some stuff together. So bring a backpack. You're gonna be surprised about you're gonna buy some stuff and then have to just lug it around for the whole day and be very uncomfortable.
Cardboard tube if you're a poster lover.
Big time.
If you buy a poster early on in the convention,
Yep.
It's going to be mushy and crinkled by the end of it.
No doubt.
a wad of paper by the time you leave if you don't have a cardboard tube.
That's exactly right.
I would also say I haven't seen the panel list this year, but I always think like if you need a break from the convention floor, you just want to sit down and like hear some rad stuff or see some people doing some interesting stuff. Like check the panel list. Like that's a great place to get a break from the floor and then sit in on something wildly entertaining.
I know of a few. Some of our friends, none of my friends read comics. Another Kansas City podcast. They're hosting, like Chris Claremont. He's hosting one about like X-Men in the '80s.
Oh wow! Yeah.
And then Jimmy Palomatti's doing one about like indie comics in the '90s and early 2000s. So
there's a Marvel Knights panel with him and Garth Ennis and somebody else.
So that'll be pretty rad.
Yeah, I'm jazzed about that one.
In 2020 when Planet got canceled, we had planned to do a panel, and it was all going to be about pre-MCU Marvel Universe, Cinematic Universe.
Hell
going back to the early Captain America serials where he carried a gun and didn't have a shield, and
This is for America.
like the Doctor Strange movie that never got made, that never saw the light of day. You can watch on YouTube. Don't.
Yeah.
It's not great. Like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher, the Captain America movie that came out in 1990, I think is when it was.
With J.D. Salinger's kid.
Yep, that's right. That's exactly it. We had a whole laundry list of these movies that we were going to go through. I think it would have been entertaining, but I was a real
there's
bummer
nothing
that
saying you
didn't
can't do it.
Oh,
still.
Still could. But what I'm saying is there's always interesting things. You can find something in your wheelhouse.
Yeah. I was weird to find out that not only do you get panels, but there's how-to and DIY tutorials for you can learn how to make a foam sword or how to clean and press comics. There's the con is so diverse in what it offers to people. 1 year they had nerd speed dating.
Yeah.
So,
That's right.
Yeah.
That's something I always do before the con.
Speed dating?
No. Is go on their website and put that stuff in my phone.
Totally.
So I've got my calendar and, get notifications so you can walk to the room and you don't have to, because they have an app and the app is fine, but getting the notification on your phone is better.
It is better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and cell service sucks during a con because everyone's got their phone and so do not count on your cell phone working if you bring one.
Yeah.
If you're going to prioritize any panels, I'd say always go for the publisher hosted ones first, because that's where you're going to get exclusive merchandise.
Oh, really?
A lot of times if you go to a Valiant panel or a Marvel hosted panel, they'll hand out a convention exclusive where you get a comic book cover that they only made 300 of.
Right.
They only do enough to pass out to the people at the convention hall. So I've got a couple Marvel comics that were immediately worth $300.
Yep.
A couple Valiant books that are immediately worth $100. It's worth going to those to sit through them just to see if they.
The Valiant ones always pop off real quick. They get the gold embossed lettering and stuff. That's a good call. Always go early so you can get a seat, and then be sure to stick around for whatever con exclusive they're handing out.
And one assumes that Marvel's going to have a nice big panel at Planet, probably announce a couple movies. Bring Chris Hemsworth out.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Here to here.
This Moon Knight season 2 will be happening in Kansas City.
Oop.
So
now you're talking my language.
Be on the lookout for those exclusives.
A couple other quick etiquette things, if I can hit them real quick, that I think are important.
Hit them.
If you got a stack of comics to get signed,
sign them yourself.
Unbag and unboard those MFers before you get up to the table. Have those raw copies ready to sign.
Yep.
I would say one of the most important ones, cosplay is not consent.
Yeah,
You'll see that posted around a lot of conventions. Just because someone's dressed one way or another does not mean it's okay to gawk, to
ask to take a picture,
touch. But a lot of people are comfortable taking pictures, and if you want to show someone that you appreciate what they did and you're a fan of it, people love taking pictures with you.
Yeah, for sure.
That's
why
half
they
of the fun of the cosplayers.
Up.
They love that. So that's a great way to interact and
Just be courteous and mindful.
But just yeah, exactly right.
Use your
exactly
fucking
right.
head.
And then Sundays, if you see something that's out of your price range, Sundays,
Fire
the
sale.
last day of the con, everyone's looking to unload as much stuff as possible.
So hide those books on Friday somewhere secret, and then on Sunday be like, "Oh,
come
I
back.
found these.
What'll you take for this?
What do you take for this Fantastic Four #1?"
I've gotten tons of great deals on Sundays at cons.
Yeah, it's
What they don't sell, they have to carry out.
exactly.
Exactly
The
right.
dollar
That's
bins
worth it.
quickly turn into the 25-cent bins.
It's
$5
the
for a
best.
dollar.
The $5 for a dollar.
It's rad. So those were some solid con etiquette suggestions to get you prepped for whatever con you're attending, not just Planet. So heed those warnings and suggestions however you want. Take a shower beforehand. That's the last one. The last one. Take a shower.
Rule 0.
Yep. Deodorant is like $4. You're fine. A quick preview of the Patreon. We were recording after this episode. We're going to do a couple games. We're going to talk about Tales from the Shop that I didn't get to last week. Oh, yeah. And I got some birthday money, and I spent it on some comics, and I'm going to show them off.
La-ti-da.
So if that sounds entertaining to you, we have roped Adam into some of the games. So if you want to see him squirm when we ask him questions, go to patreon.com/firstissue club. For the price of a comic book, that's under $4, folks. You too can get extra episodes, extra videos, and all kinds of cool stuff.
every week.
That's not the intro music. I'm just excited. I'm just excited about the Patreon. Let's get into some nerd stuff. Some pop culture things happened this week, and I want to talk about them.
Let's
Number
hear it.
one, Seth Rogen's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles trailer finally fucking dropped.
Can I just real quick? So speaking of this, so I was when I first saw the cast list for this movie, I was talking to Jordan. She was sitting next to me, and I was like, "What would you say if I let me just read you this cast list real quick?" And there's like Paul Rudd, Giancarlo Esposito, Rose Byrne, Jackie Chan, Seth Rogen, John Cena, Maya Rudolph, Ice Cube, Post Malone, Hannibal Buress. You know, it went down, and she was like, "Damn, that movie sounds amazing. What is it?"
Yeah.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
When you find out who those people are playing, it makes it even better.
Dude, Jackie Chan as Splinter alone is like
Worth the price of admission.
worth the price of both tickets I'm going to buy because I'm going to see it twice.
Yep.
So to back up a little bit, when Seth Rogen first announced that he was doing a TMNT movie, I was apprehensive. We're just going to be honest with you. I was not jazzed about the idea. We had just gotten burned by Michael Bay and his creation.
Yeah.
So I didn't know if there had been enough time in between those to give the Turtles another chance. But I was completely shocked by this trailer. They seem to be heavily inspired by Spider-Verse and that kind of unique art style that they went for, and it worked so much to their benefit to try something new. The Turtles are actually voiced by teenagers, which is nuts, and it works so well. I can't believe this is the first time they've tried to do this. And like you said, the cast, the supporting cast is crazy. I think John Cena is Bebop,
Oh, good.
and Seth Rogen is Rocksteady.
Yeah.
And like, you know, all the weird supporting characters from the animated show from the 80s and early 90s make appearances. I think like Paul Rudd is the gecko dude
Oh, yeah.
on the skateboard. So, I mean, this is going to be fucking amazing.
Yeah. It's going to be a lot of fun.
That's what, that just looks like a full-on fun
The best word.
Yeah.
Turtles movie. And the art looks fucking wild.
The art direction's fantastic.
Yeah.
All down to the logo. They're gonna sell a hell of a lot of T-shirts. I want one.
Can you imagine the toy line from this thing?
Right? Yeah.
It's going to go like gangbusters.
Everything's kind of edgy, punk rock, but still like fun and young.
Yeah.
It's the right balance of what Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles feels like.
rebellious.
Well, and they kind of look like the toys, which me as a child of the 80s, that's what I remember most about TMNT, and that vibe gets me in my feels about going to see the Turtles again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think when something that we've grown up with, like the Turtles or Power Rangers or whatever, gets too stuck in nostalgia and tries to get our money instead of the new generation's money, it feels fake and phony. But when they kind of blend both so well, of like, this is like a young hip version of TMNT, but the old guys are still gonna like it too. Like, it's just like chocolate and peanut butter mixed together. It's perfect.
It's almost like we talked about the Ultimate Universe in Marvel, right, a couple episodes back, where it's like it was basically a reboot of the stuff you already knew in comic book form. And it's kind of like this, right? This feels like a reboot of the TV show that everybody watched at 6:30 in the morning.
Right.
And I hope, I mean, this is like franchise material, right, that they've got
for
going
sure,
on, right? They're going to make 100 of these movies.
Yeah.
And I'm going to watch all of them.
Yeah, definitely 3. 3 movies are definitely coming with this
Oh, yeah.
boy.
Oh, yeah. And a spin-off TV show.
I hadn't thought about it until you said it, Mike. The reason that resonated so well is that they do look very like toyish, and that they are kids,
Oh, that
and
was
the
so
stakes
awesome.
don't seem to be super high, right?
Right,
Like,
like,
it seems
the world isn't exploding.
right, yeah. And they don't look like linebackers,
No.
and they look like they're fumbling through life, while
Yeah.
just happen to have
It's like a coming of age story mixed with, oh wait, I am an anthropomorphic turtle as well. And that's so fucking simple.
Yeah.
It make it less about them being turtles and more about them figuring out who they are and what their path is in life.
Yeah.
Like the opening scene is them filming themselves on their phones doing jackass stunts.
Yeah.
Like who can't relate to that?
Yeah. Stop drilling, you've struck oil, right?
Exactly. Yeah. And like the ooze bit that they did about, I mean, this whole film's gonna be just zinger after zinger, and I'm here for it.
Yeah.
same.
So I want to pivot into another Marvel into a Marvel property that we've all seen except for Mike D. Ant-Man and Quantumania. Mania happened.
Yep.
Mania is continuing to happen in the discourse on social media.
Yeah, you said that there was some kind of a hubbub.
Yeah, folks
A
are
ruckus?
folks are saying this movie is bad.
Folks are wrong.
I disagree with those folks.
Yeah, folks are very like
As someone who hasn't seen the movie yet, I'll say when I ask other people how it was, I often hear not good.
are they comic book that's a weird gatekeeping thing for me to say, but like have they read comic books or have they grown up with comic books?
Can they name 3 Ant-Man songs?
Yeah. Who's King related to? Can you answer me that?
I think these are people that you might call casuals.
Right.
Okay. And that's fine. Like I get it, but like
Why are you talking to them?
yeah, well, you can delete them from your phone. This Ant-Man and Quantumania felt like the most comic booky movie I've seen from Marvel in a long time. Maybe since the first Captain America, where they leaned in so hard to the bit of like crazy shit's gonna happen.
Yep.
Are we gonna explain it? No.
Nope.
Because it's just fun. It's just fun that way. And I, as a comic book fan, loved every goddamn minute.
You're
of it.
ready to roll with it.
I'm
That's
Did you go in with high? Like I know we saw.
I went in with expectations that, is Paul Rudd in it? Cool.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
but I also like the other 2 Ant-Man movies.
yeah. That's the thing. I think everyone's expectation was you were going to get a third one of those, which
Yeah.
is the most accessible version of a Marvel movie.
Yeah.
because they're just like crime capers, right?
Yeah.
Totally.
So
It's vanilla
It's a
ice cream in a good
Super
way.
departure from those two.
From the trailer,
Yeah.
this movie looked like hard fantasy sci-fi.
Yep.
And it was.
And it was. Yeah.
And like, as someone who's read a regular Ant-Man comic book and then another Ant-Man comic book by a different writer, I'm used to those hard shifts in tone. Which I know it's kind of hard for people to swallow that, but holy shit, did it work so well for me. And Jonathan Majors was fucking
Oh, my
incredible.
God.
Yeah.
The dude was menacing the whole goddamn movie.
Yeah, I definitely don't want to kiss him.
Yeah, totally don't. No. Whatever variant shows up, definitely don't want to smooch that guy. I mean, he commanded your attention in every scene he showed up in.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
And like, I was thrilled that they got him to portray that version of Kang and then every other variant that we see. And it's every bit of...
Oh, so we get a proper Council of Kangs in this
Oh,
movie.
dude.
We
Do we have
Oh,
Dude.
yeah.
And it is
Yeah.
one of the sickest scenes ever.
Yeah.
Adam, have you seen my page on the top
Oh, yes.
left? John Romita Jr., Council of Kangs from Fantastic Four anniversary issue.
Oh, I'm seeing it now.
It's a thing of beauty in the studio.
I'll show off a little bit.
And it's insured, so
Yeah.
if your hand starts sweating when you touch it, it's fine.
That's
You
exactly
can
right.
get it replaced.
Everyone gets a turn touching it for 5 seconds.
Yep. On my birthday, I can take the gloves off.
That's one of my prized possessions. Love me some Kang.
Well, then you're gonna.
Excited for
I
this
think
movie.
you'll like Ant-Man.
Yeah.
And Quantumania. It was. I keep calling it the wrong name every time I mention it, but you know what I'm talking about. I thought it was great, and then like Hank Pym really was Ant-Man in this movie. I mean, Mr. Catherine Zeta-Jones himself, like, really
Yeah.
fulfilled his prophecy of just like,
Are
no,
they
I
still
am.
together?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I think so. I haven't heard different. I
He
haven't
got
gotten
mouth cancer.
I
I'll give
haven't,
him a call.
I haven't gotten a Google text alert that's saying that they've divorced.
If it was news that you thought you got mouth cancer from going down on your wife, how do you not leave that man?
What?
It must be that good.
You have to stay with him forever.
He got cancer from me.
He got cancer from me.
That is still baffling that he said that.
It's insane.
As an
Isn't it?
adult man, he used that as an excuse.
It's like blaming your wife. Why?
No, he wasn't
I
blaming
think it's a
her.
humble brag.
Yeah, he was like,
He was flexing.
yeah, for sure. It was a flex.
The doctor said, knock it off. And I said, no way,
No.
No
doc.
way. Mm-mm.
I'm hungry.
What a way to die.
Put the chemo up in there because I'm getting it.
Well, then we're both going to be bald, doc. And so,
What a scamp.
yeah, sorry, that really threw me. So what did you guys have any particular parts that you enjoyed of Quantumania or like didn't like maybe? Or
Oh, what about takes on MODOK?
Hysterical.
I thought it worked more than it didn't, to be
Yeah,
honest.
for sure.
Yeah.
If they would have put MODOK in there and they would have played it perfectly straight,
Too serious. It
Yeah.
wouldn't have worked.
it wouldn't work
And
because
yeah.
MODOK's a floating head in a chair. Like, you
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
have it not be at least a little bit goofy.
Ridiculous. Yeah. Yeah.
Even newer renditions of MODOK, he's kind of a rube.
Yeah.
You know, like he's always been
Right.
picked on his whole life, and that's why he went through all this trouble to become this big floating head in a chair.
Right.
And so the tone of I forget the actor's name who plays him is like pretty spot on, to be honest.
Yeah.
Is AIM invoked?
I have a theory about
alluded to?
I have a
Okay.
theory about it. I don't know if you want to talk about my theory.
I didn't hear it.
Is it, if anyone wants to hear it, I think it's comic book podcast people.
So Kang is
I can't. I need so much more
Yeah.
comic books in my life. I have to reach out to podcasts.
Nope, my lips are sealed.
But I don't want to indulge fan theory.
in the movie, Kang has this like massed army of soldiers. I assume they're not robotic. I'm assuming they're just people he's either I don't know. Anyway, I think those eventually will become AIM because I don't think what happened to MODOK.
Not the TVA.
No, I don't. I think whatever happened to MODOK, the red herring, what happened to MODOK isn't true.
MODOK takes those minions
Right.
and starts
And then
AIM.
becomes
later
AIM, yeah.
becomes AIM. That's my theory
sure.
and
Yeah.
hope. Gonna be an easy way to explain it.
Yeah. It works.
Because how else, if he gets brought up again, is anyone going to take him serious? And he gets a legion of people to be like, oh, I'll join you, whatever, man.
yeah.
You make sense to me.
You make
But
sense.
my dad left when I was young, so I'll join anything.
We still haven't seen the iconic AIM goon outfits in
No.
a Marvel movie yet. I would love to see those.
They are pretty iconic
Yeah.
for being completely
What
gooberish.
Weird shaped helmet.
It definitely you can't wear those out in the rain because they'll just get water on top of them and just sink in on you, slow you down. They're not aerodynamic at all. Any strong gust of wind and your whole front line is gone.
I'll tell you what I really liked about Quantumania is stature. I thought
Oh yeah,
I thought Cassie Lang was a great addition to the team, cast,
Yeah.
whatever.
yeah. Either one.
She's another powered whatever
Ant family.
ant
Yeah.
family, sure. And it makes me just even another level more jazzed for Marvel to do Young Avengers.
Sure.
I mean, they're setting that up so hard.
Yeah.
Really hard, and I want it. I want it now.
One of Caitlin's things was it seemed less like an Ant-Man movie and more of a Van Dyke family
Sure.
movie.
Sure.
And so like Ant-Man was just like the main pull to get audiences in, but it was really a family affair between the Van Dykes.
And that's kind of what Peyton Reed does really well, is kind of more human stories.
Mm-hmm. What else has he done besides
the other two Ant-Man movies?
Is that it?
No, he's done some other stuff too.
Okay.
I just can't think of it right now. I've had too many of these delicious Boulevard beers.
Airbud.
My bad.
Yes, Airbud 5, Airbud's Revenge.
Where he gets psychic powers.
And he chases the shark from Jaws 4.
No, he ate the Jaws. He ate the shark from Jaws 4.
Jesus Christ, Greg.
Now I have his spirit.
No, I thought Cassie was great.
Yeah.
I know there was a lot of consternation about her being recast and she's kind of a throw-in and whatever, but I liked it. I liked her story with Paul Rudd, and I liked her as her own kind of conscientious, like socially conscientious character. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, she had her own voice and her own, plan. I mean, people want to scream about recasting. Where were you when Don Cheadle showed up?
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah.
recasting happens. This is like the 32nd movie in the franchise. It's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let me ask you this. One of the large critiques about the recent swath of TV shows and movies has been that people haven't felt an overarching initiative or pull towards a central theme, and it felt like it was lacking because of that all these movies were like meandering in the same universe.
Sure.
Yeah, I think that's true.
Does this movie do anything?
This has a direction.
You think it like
This-
really sharpens that
this
direction?
has a direction.
It does. I
Big
mean,
time.
But it ignores everything in Phase 4.
Because I'll say that this is one of the first movies that's like we're taking a major character from something that was just introduced in the last few years
Yep.
and plotting them into the movie, right?
No,
We-
I mean, Marvel did a pretty hard line of just like, here's where we're going. Hold on. like
yeah,
you thought Thanos was bad. Let's meet this guy.
yeah, okay.
And I mean, to that point, I mean, to follow Josh Brolin is a tough act to follow. As far as
they got the right guy.
for
They
like
got
a
the
super
right-
They got
villain.
the right guy.
Exactly
I mean,
right.
not only like in the right actor, but I think in the right antagonist with Kang, because he's just he can be anywhere and everywhere.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, actor, character, tone, it's all.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
all matched.
I'm excited for Phase 5. Phase 4 to me, people knock on Phase 4 a lot. There was some stuff I liked in there, and then there was some stuff that I completely forget was even a part of Phase 4.
Right.
I don't know what
think there
the
was
general
maybe
direction was.
Too much like trying to tie everything to one singular story.
Sure.
Like I think Moon Knight is outside of like the direction of the where
Yeah.
with like Loki and Kang. Even like with Doctor Strange, I think there is obviously with the multiverse and the timelines and but then you had like Miss Marvel and you have She-Hulk and all that stuff. I think people are struggling separating them.
Yeah.
It's like this is shit that's going on in this same world, but it doesn't have to all tie to the same thing.
Yeah.
And so it got a little bit messy. I think Marvel realized that when they're like, well, we're going to hit the pump the brakes on how much content we're going to throw at you guys because you're having a hard time compartmentalizing it.
Yeah. We need to shepherd these people more, I guess.
Yeah, it's almost like they're trying to do the opposite of what they did with like there was a time period where like Thor, Iron Man 2, and the Hulk, like if you lay out the MCU timeline, they happen like in the same week.
Yeah.
So they're doing like
What a week on Earth.
Right.
Yeah, they're doing like the opposite of that, where it's like, or kind of the same thing, where it's like all this stuff is happening and only some of it plays into
The larger plan.
the Kang saga or
Totally.
whatever they're
Yeah.
going to end up
Yep.
calling it. But I mean, Moon Knight season 2, am I right?
I
Fingers
liked
crossed.
season 1. People also were just
Yeah.
ho-hum on season
I
1.
can't believe that. I thought season 1 of that show was great.
It was perfect.
I've seen many a show and podcast that ranked Moon Knight way low, and it blows my mind. It had one of the best character arcs and character growth and development and just exploration of kind of complex mental health issues, and I mean, it's just like
Yeah.
it boggles my mind.
Another character I don't want to kiss at all.
Well, just take your pick from that show, my man. Ethan Hawking, pucker up.
Oof.
Oscar Isaac. Vavavoom.
Khonshu.
Oh, ooh.
Let me see
Bring
that
that
beak.
beak over here. Let me sneak a peek at that beak.
I didn't know that. So we just finished White Lotus season 2.
Okay. You and I already know you and I disagree on whatever take is coming.
Well, no, there's a character in White Lotus season 2
Okay.
who is the voice of Khonshu.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Got it.
F. Murray Abraham.
F. Murray Abraham.
Murray
Yeah.
Abraham.
Yeah.
And when he was talking in the show, I was just like, I've heard this man before.
Yeah.
I feel like I should be doing something. Like someone else should be on the screen with him.
Didn't you help Jeff Goldblum with an alien invasion one time?
I totally forgot he was in that fucking movie too.
Right?
Anyway, we'll talk White Lotus off mic.
That sounds
because
good.
We'll argue. But any other Quantumania things that we want to get out before we move on to other comic book stuff?
Quantumania is good, and you're all goobers.
Just stick through it. The stingers were two of the best that I've like. There have been stingers. I'm like, man, I waited for that.
Oh,
But not those two.
And I'll say this about the Stingers. This was the first time. Yeah, owie. This was the first time I had to go and research the Stinger, like the post credits.
Oh,
It'd
yeah.
be like,
Yeah.
what character
Yeah.
was that or something?
I had no idea, and I won't spoil it for Mike D, but I had no idea that was like an Avengers thing that happened.
This is
For you guys
the
that
first
know.
one or the second one?
The second one.
Yeah.
I had no clue what was going on. And I had people like, because I'm the guy that people text after the movie, and they're like, what was ABCD?
Sure,
and I was
yeah.
like, I have no idea what this is.
Well, you're Googling. Oh, actually, he's
Yeah, hold on one second while I
yeah. There it
remember.
was.
And it was cool.
I agree.
It was a very cool experience to like be excited about something I had no idea what was going on.
Yeah. I mean, anything can be better than the Pip the Troll CGI stinger we got.
Patton Oswalt, baby.
Did you see what he looked like?
Yeah.
It was terrible. The
Another
CGI
character I don't want to kiss at all.
The CGI wasn't even done at all. It was just like a sock puppet.
They do those after credit scenes as like a quick afterthought, and it's like you can often tell when they involve CG.
Oh yeah.
That it was that they're rushed compared to the rest of the movie.
I would say both of these were very like
Thought out.
pertinent. Like they were.
Yeah. For
sure.
They definitely paid some visual effects artist overtime to make sure that this looked good.
That first one especially.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
Oh shit.
I could have watched that 100 times.
Have they confirmed Eternals too?
No. It's
Now, supposedly, it's on somebody's like, okay,
call sheet or whatever.
yeah, one of the actors that was in Eternals,
Yeah.
their agent like posted their call sheet or whatever for
They're
23.
They're scheduling for 2023
Yeah.
if they want to take on other roles.
and it was like on there. So
Right on.
who knows?
I'm an Eternals apologist. I know that's another one that a lot of people didn't like, but
I thought Eternals was good too.
I really liked it.
You know what? Every
Maybe
movie
I should
is good.
rewatch
It was also just pretty.
It was.
It was very
It was
pretty.
very pretty.
Yeah.
One of the prettiest turds I've ever seen.
Also,
Polished to a shine.
come on.
It is an easy joke.
I'm
I'm ashamed of myself.
I'll say if there's any of these movies, if you're a MCU mega fan, and there's any of these movies that you feel like you don't have an appreciation for, I would say roll the dice on the commentary. It's free on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
It adds a lot of context
Yeah.
into how the movie was made, the decisions that they made, and why they made them. All kinds of good stuff on there. If you like listening to podcasts, you're going to like movie commentary. Throw those on. Sometimes you got to change your audio settings on your TV to get the commentary to work right.
Oh, I didn't know that.
I had to do it on mine with Disney Plus. I had to change I had to put like audio assist on to get the
Just Google it,
Yeah.
folks. You can figure it out.
Yep.
We're all smart here.
But they're great. The Captain Marvel commentary made me like that movie better. The Eternals,
interesting.
Eternals commentary made me like that movie better.
What? And this could be a throwaway thing. Wasn't there a movie who did audio commentary, and then they did audio commentary
On the
about
commentary?
their audio commentary?
Yes.
Can you recall what movie that is?
I want to say it was like Tropic Thunder or something.
I think you're right. It was some funny comedy.
Because I think the bit was where Robert Downey Jr. doesn't leave character until the audio commentary does. So I think he did commentary on the commentary as the character from his movie.
Okay, that's brilliant.
I think I could be wrong.
Spinal Tap does the 20th anniversary commentary in character as if they're the band watching the documentary. back.
Oh, that's great.
fucking
That's genius.
Okay, yeah, I thought I somewhere heard that there was they do some cool shit with that, but
Well, look at us commentary aficionados over here.
anyway, pivoting away from movie stuff into comic book stuff
Oh,
now.
thank God.
Marvel has a new imprint coming,
Yes, they do.
Oh.
and it's paired with 20th Century Studio. Andy, you probably heard of this.
Uh-huh.
They are pushing all of their like Predator comics, Alien comics.
Planet of the Apes.
Planet of the Apes is going on to there, and it's starting with the Planet of the Apes, I believe.
Correct.
Do you guys like Planet of the Apes?
The movie? Hell yeah.
Yeah, bro.
The first movie is fucking awesome.
Enough to be like, you're still a fan of Planet of the Apes?
Have you seen
Shit.
Planet of the Apes?
Which one?
Yeah,
The
well,
Charlton
yeah.
Heston one, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like,
The first
I think
Charlton
they're
Heston
both.
one.
Yeah.
Here's,
Awesome.
here's my thing.
Yeah.
You can be a fan of the movie.
Okay.
I'm just saying, subsequent stuff that happens afterwards. Still interested?
I'll
Okay.
read it. I'll read number one.
Okay. So
You
Boom,
got me for one, Marvel.
Yeah.
so Boom did. They had the license before Marvel. did.
Yeah.
Right.
They did a couple of different Planet of the Apes series
Yeah.
that were supposedly good. I can only speak to the Green Lantern crossover they did, so that's the only one I read. And it was incredible.
Did an ape get a ring?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hell
it-
yeah.
I'm here for it.
It's so good. Like, the villains got like a yellow ring.
Sure, yeah.
and
Keeps
like,
making bananas, sir.
so, I mean, I gotta say, like, some of it's good. I can't speak to all of it, but
Yeah.
I think Planet of the Apes has a lot of legs that I think a lot of people don't know about.
Okay.
So obviously they're doing this because Disney bought Fox.
Yeah.
And so now Marvel has a whole list of characters to play with. And though Marvel didn't announce it through this announcement, they can and have the rights to do comic books of the Kingsman, Free Guy, and Die Hard.
Hold on. Kingsman's not owned by Miller?
No,
Kingsman? Like,
like the movie.
so they could make comics based in that universe,
Mm-hmm.
even though Mark Miller wrote the comic book that the movie was based on.
I guess whoever owns the rights.
Wild.
Yeah. We've come full circle.
We've come full circle.
That is wild.
Yeah.
So unless Miller signed off to this,
Millar, right?
Oh, yeah. Mark Millar.
tomato.
I thought I was talking
Save-
about the beer. I was like,
Save
man,
your
everything.
emails. That's all I'm saying.
Guess what? He'll cash the checks either way. So
Yeah.
save your emails. That's right. The interesting thing to me is a potential Die Hard comic book.
Again.
There was one previously.
Boom Studios again, baby. Die Hard Year One.
Oh my God! Year one.
Yeah.
All the air ducts he climbed. It's how he learned how to climb through air ducts.
You know, he's literally year one. He's a baby, and he's got to climb. No, it's him as like a
rookie
street
cop?
cop. Yeah.
All right.
Interesting.
I haven't read it. It's been on my Amazon wish list. It's kind of hard to find now, but
Does he always walk by like Nakatomi Tower and just like, it's a
One
cool
day.
building?
I don't know. I'm a Die Hard super fan. Also, I'm a Die Hard guy. You know.
Well, I saw this and I thought of you because,
course.
you know, Marvel doing a new imprint with 20th Century
Yeah.
Properties seems right up your alley.
Can't wait for the Planet of the Apes Die Hard crossover.
I
Please.
appreciate this imprint just because it cleans it up.
Yes.
It cleans up the muck. People just expect if it's a Marvel comic, it exists in the Marvel universe.
Yeah. Where is the
And
Hulk?
that's why people are confused by Alien and by Star Wars and all these other things they publish.
Mm-hmm.
Put those on another imprint.
Yep.
They're their own thing.
However, just saying, Avengers versus Predator would be awesome.
Dude,
Moving on.
Ooh.
they did Batman versus Superman versus Aliens versus Predator, and they need to do that with Marvel.
They did that already?
They did that already.
That sounds like something I would
Every
think of when I'm
publisher
drunk.
has owned this at some point.
Yeah.
It's true. It's true. But that was when Aliens and Predator were on Dark Horse.
Yep.
And it was like a
Oh, so they
DC
just
Dark
teamed
Horse
up.
crossover. Yeah.
It's like
Okay.
early 90s. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
New Hulk creative team.
Oh.
They teased this up after Pepos's annual. They said they would announce who the new team was going to be. finally announced it's going to be Nick Klein, who was doing Thor for so long,
Yeah, Nick Klein's great.
and Philip Kennedy Johnson.
Oh, okay.
Which, if you're not familiar with their work, fucking crawl out of your cave
PK.
and be excited. So I'm excited. This actually got me excited to get Hulk. I mean, I've been getting Hulk, but it makes me excited that I can continue to read Hulk because it's basically Bruce Banner on a monster island.
Yeah, it's like a monster hunt, right?
Yeah.
Like a monster mash, yeah.
Yeah, so hell yes. Hulk beating up big monsters.
Love it.
Big thumbs up.
Yeah,
We're good to go.
Philip Kennedy Johnson
Doing
wrote-
Bond.
He did Bond. The 007 series was awesome spy stuff. He's been the head of Alien. I'm assuming that's why they took him off of Alien and are putting Declan Shalvey on there. But I saw actually a lot of hate for this creative team, and I'll fight people. Like, I'll fight every single one of you nerds because this book is gonna slap.
Yeah. People are so fucking dumb.
Yeah, they are.
More positivity in comics, please.
Yeah, you fucking idiots.
Oh, sometimes I don't always practice what I preach, but come on.
I'm positive
let
that
the-
I will fight all of you.
Let
Yeah.
the book come out first before you
Yeah,
get mad
no, this
about
book's gonna go real hard.
Yeah.
So get excited. And then my last bit of news before we get into anything else, Nicolas Cage was recently asked if he wanted to join the MCU, and he replied, "I don't need to be in the MCU. I'm Nick Cage." The hardest fucking thing you can say ever. So hats off to you, Nick Cage.
I love that
Keep
guy.
doing what you're doing,
For
I guess.
real.
That's amazing. That's
love Nick
a
Cage.
fucking amazing response. I don't need to be in the MCU. I'm Nick Cage.
it. I believe he is an owner of an Action Comics
He
number
absolutely is,
one.
yeah.
Dude is a hardcore collector.
Did you
of just
see-
like fucking awesome stuff.
Keanu did an AMA on Saturday.
Keanu did?
Keanu Reeves, he did an AMA on Reddit. And it's, I guess right now it's like the most read AMA, like it surpassed the Barack Obama one. Wow. But the one thing that I remember from what somebody asked, like, is there any role that you regret turning down? And he said he can't think of any role that he regrets turning down, but he does regret never playing Wolverine.
Oh.
Keanu's Wolverine.
Interesting.
Get out of my way, bub. Whoa.
I've got claws.
What are these claws coming out of my fist?
We immediately just turn Wolverine into Bill.
Some surfer dude, yeah.
Yeah.
He does other voices, but that's the best one to do.
I mean, that's the best thing about John Wick is he does so few voices.
He has like almost no lines.
He has like no lines.
He talks through guns.
Yeah.
I love the John Wick verse.
Oh my God.
Okay,
They can keep making those as much as they want.
Keanu plays Wolverine, and they bring Gary Busey back
Oh.
to play Colossus for the fastball special.
Oh
right?
God, no.
Wolverine,
No.
give me two.
You don't bring Gary Busey into anything unless like someone's life is at stake. That man is a ticking time bomb. No, thank you. It was rumored that for a long time Keanu Reeves was considering being the Silver Surfer.
That would actually be a really dope casting.
That's a life dream, life goal for me. Yeah.
To be Silver Surfer, or to see Keanu Reeves as
Both.
Yeah. Well, how long have we been going?
An hour.
An hour. Anybody read any comics? I mean, we stuffed it in with some good stuff. I read. Oh, let me get my list down. I forgot. I got gun shy.
I'll go real quick.
Okay, go.
So I came from Clint's Comics to here, and I stopped in a parking lot and read the new Predator #1
So did I.
from Ed Brisson, and god damn, that book still goes so hard.
Brisson's great.
It is very, very good.
It's so good.
It's a new #1, but it's almost kind of a continuation of the previous Predator story. Am I right?
Yes. So Theta still shows up at the very end. She was the protagonist of the previous run. I like that there seems to be like a 20-year time jump almost.
Yeah.
So I get why they did the new #1. But I'm guessing they're going to move her to more of a like supporting role, or like she's leading a cast now instead of this just being her story.
Yeah. So this is actually called Predator the Preserve.
Yeah.
And basically these predators have taken people from different points in time and put them in like a hypersleep and have woken them up at different times so they can hunt them to like get better at hunting the ultimate prey.
It's basically the plot of the movie Predators.
Oh yeah.
With Nosy McGee, the pianist.
Oh, Adrian Brody.
Adrian Brody, thank you. But in Marvel Comics form, and then they tie in that previous
Yeah.
Predator series. So
It's awesome. It's
It's
super,
dope.
super violent. Predators being predators. I mean,
they be predating.
why? What a boring existence, I guess, to just be hunting. And like, it doesn't really seem fair how they're honing their skills. It's like shooting fish in a barrel at this point for them.
Yeah.
So anyway,
But then Theta shows up.
and she is a
Predator's predator.
an ace in the hole, if you
Yeah.
will.
Yeah.
So I'm excited for it. I know Andy is as well.
Big time.
I also read a book on Image, I believe, called ARC, A-R-C. It stands for Animal Rights Coalition.
Yeah.
It's basically about
What rights?
animal rights.
Animal. I heard anal.
Anal rights, baby.
That's on Playboy.
I'll read either, but
It's basically about this team that hunts down poachers who hunt animals.
Predators.
Elephant. Yeah, who poach predators.
dying.
It's fucking wild. So it's basically elephant hunters fighting elephant hunters.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what you think. It's a one shot. It's not preachy, but it's definitely honed in on its message of poaching is bad, which obviously. But then they go into this whole thing of just like, what if we created a special superhero team that hunts them down?
Wow.
And then you just kind of go, oh, wait a minute. I don't know if I really support that idea. Can't we just rehab these people? And it's just like, nah.
No, we have to superhero kill them.
Bullet's the only rehab I need. If you are into animal rights, I think you'll like this book. It's a little extreme in its message. I get the point it's trying to make, but yeah,
Animal rights by way of the Punisher.
essentially, it's like if Frank Castle joined PETA,
Okay, I'd read that arc.
and
Yeah, that's a great elevator pitch.
Yeah.
Is that makeup on that bunny? No.
If that's not how they were selling the comic, they need to hire you to write their synopsis.
For real.
And I also read. Okay, so you guys are gonna laugh at me. I read Deja Thoris, which is like John
Oh, yeah.
Carter
Yeah.
in space. She's the one that has like basically the metal bikini slave Leia outfit. Now, I only read this because it's written by Chuck Brown, who wrote Bitterroot,
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
and I was like, okay,
How many covers did you buy?
all of them.
All 750
I had to buy
covers.
all of them so you would be eligible to buy the nude cover.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Thinking. I am thinking. So yeah, I got this because typically with those dynamite, voluptuous books, they kind of veer one way, and we all know which way that is.
Right between the titties.
Right? Yeah, it's in the boob zone.
This is an interesting thing with this publisher because sometimes they get like really cool writers, and the male gazy sort of covers
Trick you.
are very misleading
Yeah.
into the quality of book being told. They're very like sleazoid covers, but the creators are like great, and they're handling the character with a lot of respect and
Yeah.
giving them enough depth that like validates the story, that it's not just a looky-loo.
Yeah.
Like when Gail Simone wrote Red Sonja.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. That's a great example.
What?
Yeah.
And it's like
Yep.
you see that, you're like, wait a minute, hold on, that's a stroke. That's not supposed to be there.
Yeah.
And yeah, you're exactly right. They get these incredible creators who write story with depth and character growth, and you're-
Undermined by the covers.
Yeah, and you see these dynamite covers of just like, well, this is 80% boob on here.
We used to have an ongoing conversation on First Issue Club that we haven't
podcast you're listening to.
touched on in a minute, and it's how do we draw, like, where does comics draw that line of embracing sexuality in comics and owning that and being sex positive, and the historically over sexualizing of characters. It all comes down to
Intent?
how it's written, how well it's handled, who the stories that need to be told, like the way they're being told, are coming from.
It's tougher to justify that kind of stuff when there's 400 covers of Deja Thoris 1 where she's lounging
like in a chaise lounge
That's
Yeah,
the thing.
with like
like-
a veneer sheet over her.
I think
Yeah.
that even though they're doing a great job of sourcing talent at that publisher, I think that's still the reason why I just have a hard time buying those comic books.
For sure.
Is that they just feel in service of the male gaze.
It tips its toe into the waters of this is a little bit exploitative.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
this cover exists just so I will buy the
Right.
book and not read it, just buy this cover.
Yeah.
Because it does something to my lizard brain where I'm just like, ugh.
Well, and do you really want your wife or girlfriend to pull out that comic and then you have to be like, well, the creative team is
Yeah.
really sex positive and female forward.
I'm
And
only
she's like,
reading it for the articles, honey.
yeah, it's exactly that.
Can you think of examples of the opposite?
Money Shot by Tim Seeley
Yeah.
is about a space team that goes into space and makes sex videos
To fund their
to
scientific
fund their
research.
scientific research.
But like the cover is like innocuous. Like, oh, it's just robots
Oh,
and
but
spaceships.
the inside
and
is
then the
super
inside
sexy.
is like, wow, holy.
So yes, because
Buckets.
cover A is just like, oh, we're going on a space adventure, but
Yeah,
they have
Money Shot.
they have polybag versions of their like sexy covers
Right.
that are out of this fucking
Sure.
world
Yeah.
crazy.
Image, there was a book called Sex
Yes,
that those covers were like, I'm going to be reading a political thesis. And then you open it up and it was like very horny, very sex positive.
I think Faithless was a
was
little
like
bit
Sex
like that.
Criminals the same way? Like, I don't remember their covers being super
Yeah.
like egregious. or
Yeah.
They lean
overly-
more into humor.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh, this will be
Yep.
funny. Oh, God, there's a penis.
And the sexy covers that Sex Criminals did came polybagged. So it was
Oh,
kind of a
yeah.
spoof
Right.
on porn you would buy at a
Sure.
gas station.
And fuck, I just lost it. Oh, Sunstone. Sunstone has
Stefan Sepjek.
that has pretty
He's
tame covers, and then
so
the comic is
talented.
about lesbian BDSM.
Yeah.
All right.
It's a very sweet story, actually.
And where do you
but-
find it? No, I'm kidding.
I'll send you the PDF. It's kind of just like Mariko and Dolfo stuff though. Like it's seeped in this sexual energy, but there's a story there. You're just like, oh, this is actually really endearing and
Yeah,
like,
very human.
you humanize
Very
sexuality.
identifiable.
And you're like, oh my God, like it's very eye opening. And I would actually give kids who are 16, 17, 18, like who are exploring these feelings. Sure. Like, hey, this may seem weird, but like this kind of explains a lot of like funky feelings that are going on.
True. Yeah.
What is it? Sweet Paprika
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
that's Marika Andolfo's book that's like all about sexual hangups and like being shamed when you're young about like sexual desires, and then that translating into adulthood and having an unhealthy relationship with sex because of that.
Yeah.
All told in like a very cartoony, like fun
Sex pump pinup kind of way.
Yeah, that book carries the line perfectly.
Yeah.
It does such a good job. And it's told again with like so much personality and depth with the characters.
Well, I think it's because the intended outcome is to educate
yeah.
and to tell a story.
Yes.
Like
It's almost as if I don't know her personal story. I know she's Italian and the character is like based out of Italy. But it also it definitely seems like this happened to me.
right, or
my-
someone I know or whatever.
Yeah, my father was like this, that, and the other way about sex, and it gave me this issue, and I don't want this to happen to you.
Right. So yeah, those are some great examples of
Yeah.
sexual exploration and a little bit of cheesecakiness in a positive way.
Yeah.
Sorry, we interrupted your Deja Thoris. Did you have takes on the story?
The story was just as confusing as I thought it was going to be because I had never in my
John
life.
Carpenter shit.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and it's because John Carter hasn't shown
John
up
Carter,
yet.
sorry, not Carpenter.
John Carpenter. If John Carpenter showed up, I would have been even more confused.
so
Escape from
confused.
New
Yeah.
York.
Yeah.
is-
Yeah.
Why is he writing a song with a girl in a metal bikini?
And this is before this story is written before John Carter even shows up.
Okay.
Sure.
So it's like its own little thing. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of this series. I know nothing about it. I got it because the writer was so intriguing to me.
Yeah.
I want to see his take on the character. I'm gonna give it a first arc. pedigree that I
Sure.
typically do, and if it doesn't go anywhere from there, I'll drop it. But it was fine enough.
Do you think? I mean, not to be like negative Nancy, but do you think this is going to be more dollar bin Deja Thoris fodder, or do you think this has more legs?
No, it will.
Okay,
Yeah, but that's everything on Dynamite.
that's true. That's true.
To its benefit and to its failures.
Sure.
Because if you want to read the series, wait 4 months and it'll be $5.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, sorry, Dynamite. That's all I read.
I'll be real quick because we're almost at 110.
Hell yes.
But
beefy episode.
I read 2 books on whatnot,
Mm.
short for what not to read.
Burned them.
I know I just said let's be positive about comics, but this book is written by Wesley Snipes.
How to evade your taxes?
So I feel,
Taxes for dummies.
so I feel like it's okay to be a little harsh with it. This is a really cool cover. It's a parody of the Blade Runner movie poster.
100%.
Yep.
So I feel like I had to buy it just for that.
The Exile.
Yes, the story is about a kind of super cop or like paranormal cop, maybe, who
Paranormal cops.
finds himself in a situation wherein he knows a little too much about some
Misdoings.
hyper political thing and is up against a villain whose main deal is ripping spines out of people.
Well, now hold on.
Yeah,
Hold on.
you had me at spine ripping.
So very MacGruber-esque with like the throat rips.
What a calling
Right,
card, by the way.
This is like reach your fist in, grab someone's spine out intact in its entirety.
Skull and everything.
Well, now I have to buy this
No,
book.
not skull.
Yeah.
On paper, sounds fantastic.
In my mind, I'm having a great time with this book.
In the book, mired in confusing dialogue and like flashes back in time and flashes forward in time and odd dialogue between cop and buddy cop. But at the end of the day, Wesley Snipes is the main character, and he's going to ultimately fight a guy who rips the spines out of people.
Question for the group. Is there a movie called The Exiled with with Wesley Snipes in it?
I believe we call this pulling a berserker. I'm assuming he's fishing for a role.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Does he
Right.
have any writing
Yeah, like what's
attachment,
his...
or did he do the art?
With this comic book?
Yes.
He wrote this comic.
Okay, so Wesley Snipes wrote that.
Wesley Snipes wrote this with an assist from a couple
Matt Kent.
industry people.
Okay.
No, not me.
So he wrote the book.
Yep.
And in the book, he's Wesley Snipes, not a character.
He's a character.
Oh, he is a character. Okay,
There-
because
it's a character that
Okay.
looks exactly like
That is him.
Wesley Snipes.
Okay, granted, the character's name is
Wesley Snipes. Yeah.
My
It's
name's
Snipe Wesley.
Snipes Wesley.
I love. Were you guys 30 Rock
Oh,
fans?
yes.
I love the Wesley
Yep.
Snipes in that. You put a picture of him next to a picture of me. And which one would you think would be named Wesley Snipes?
30 Rock. Brilliant show.
Such a good show. And then another book that came out is called Liquid Kill.
Now, I thought
And-
that would be fun.
And I think this one has an interesting premise. It's a
When water gets real.
young girl who is like has some sort of like magical lineage, and she's been kidnapped by like some sort of future mob.
Her name is Rebecca Snipes.
And a like hitman with some supernatural powers frees her and raises her.
Okay.
But we
So kind of like Leon the Professional here.
yeah, in this comic we only see her kicking ass trying to find out where her now kidnapped father figure has
Is.
been taken.
Okay.
And you just get enough peppering of her backstory to know that she was like basically
Raised into the...
rescued from trafficking
Mhm.
and raised into this like profession. So
Okay,
it's
once
kind
again,
of a
you've
cool,
sold me.
Yeah.
kind of a cool concept, but like I'll say that the book itself is very like it's all muddy grays. It's difficult to tell the characters apart. The dialogue is like is sparse, which is sometimes nice in a comic book when you let it like visually tell the story. But in this one, I feel like it did a little bit of a disservice because I couldn't tell who the characters were. It could have used some narration, but the story was told exclusively through sparse dialogue. It might read better.
Hi, hello.
Exactly right. Great example.
That's 8 pages.
Yeah.
It might read better in trade. This one I think's got more legs than or is a deeper story than Spine Ripper.
This looks kind of cyberpunky. Am I right in that assessment?
Yeah, this is like Future Assassins.
Future Assassins. I gotta say, Mike, the way you're describing these,
They
on paper, you're like, this should rip.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's a lot of the new publishers that are coming out, especially indie publishers. Well, I guess all new publishers are going to be indie publishers, right?
Yeah, right.
Their whole thing is like, I've got a log line for a movie.
Yeah.
How do I get Steam built on it, or how do I test it really quick to see if I can get it sold?
Listen, Wesley, we can't name the book Spine Ripper. I'm sorry. Can we think of something else?
So I kind of think these are I kind of think that the people coming to write these books on Whatnot they're more concerned with selling an idea than they are with writing a comic book, and you can tell.
Yeah.
Scout did that for a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think they've kind of pivoted away from that, to be honest, and they're kind of rebuilding their brand.
I'd say if this is the way you want to get like some buzz going on a story or get it discovered, then I would say go into this wanting to write a comic book and think of it as a comic book before a movie first.
I think that's what...
Otherwise, we're the fans who are going to be buying books on Whatnot are well versed enough in comics to tell how much you're trying.
Well, and I think Whatnot has the staying power of their platform anyway.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they're making money with people using their service to sell comic books. They're not in it to make good comics. They're in it to maybe make a comic that turns into a movie.
Yeah. Yeah. I would guess that they're interested in stuff that is intriguing enough to farm out elsewhere.
Yeah.
Right?
Indie press is good press for Whatnot.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Well, that's a bummer. I'm sorry about that.
Let's hit the important Kansas City to-dos for Con Week again before we sign off.
Well, Adam,
Yes.
thank you so much for joining us.
You're very welcome.
Thank you for bringing these delicious Boulevard beers.
Anytime.
Some ones that most people can get, and some ones that people will soon be able to get.
Yes.
Once again, we have partnered with Boulevard Brewing Company and Planet Comic Con Kansas City to give away a free one-day pass. Check all of our social medias. We have posts there to show you how to be entered to win said pass. All you got to do is like and retweet. Yeah, I have fumbled the ending. We talked about earlier how to have a good con. Re-listen to the episode if you forgot them already. I have already forgotten how to end an episode. We're
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you. Bag and Boredom, Kansas City, we love you. We've been recording for too long. Adam, come back on and whenever you want.
Happy to come back anytime.
Thank you, Adam.
Bye. First Issue Club is edited and produced by Mike DeStacy, Greg Lichtag, and Andy Vargas. Follow us on social media at First Issue Club, and check out our Patreon for videos, audio, and more at patreon.com/firstissueclub.